All right, welcome. Today we're going to tackle something that's super powerful, but let's be real, can be a little intimidating in SAP Finance: automating your bank reconciliation. I mean, if you've ever spent hours and hours manually ticking off bank transactions, you are definitely in the right place. We're about to break this whole thing down step by step. So here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll talk about the problem, the rut. Then we'll get into the good stuff, the promise of automation. After that, we'll dive into how to teach the system, see the magic upload in action, and finally, check our work to see the proof. Let's do it. Okay, first things first, the reconciliation rut. If you're in finance, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That feeling at the end of the month, that manual grind. I mean, does this picture sound familiar? You've got the bank statement printed out on one side, your SAP screen on the other, and you're just going through it line by line. It's like the classic accounting task, but honestly, it's a massive bottleneck. And, the fallout from this is very real. It's not just that it's slow, it's that one little typo, just one slip up, can create huge headaches down the line. And what does that do? It slows down your entire month-end close. So the big question is, how do we get out of this rut? Well, let's talk about the solution. And it's all about using the power of the electronic bank statement, or EBS, right inside SAP. So what exactly is an electronic bank statement? Well, at its heart, it's pretty simple. It's just a data file your bank sends you, usually in a standard format like MT940. But what it does, that's the revolutionary part. It feeds all that transaction data straight into SAP, letting the system do all the heavy lifting of matching and clearing for you. This little flowchart here really lays out the goal, the new automated way of doing things. The bank sends a file, you use one single transaction, FF5, to upload it, and then SAP just takes over. It reads the data, posts the entries, clears the items, all in one shot. The goal is just clean, simple automation. Now, of course, this isn't just magic, right? We have to do a little bit of work up front. We need to teach SAP how to read the bank's file and, more importantly, what to do with that information. But here's the key. This is a one-time setup. You do it once and you unlock all that automation forever. And we're going to follow a really clear 4-step playbook to get this done. We'll set up our bank, create some handy shortcuts for our accounts, build out the accounting logic, and then map it all together. Simple. All right, step 1, the house bank. We use transaction FI12. And all we're really doing here is telling SAP, hey, this is our bank and here are our account details. This gives the bank its own unique ID inside the system, which is absolutely crucial so SAP knows exactly which cash account to post to. Okay, next up, we create something called account symbols. Honestly, the best way to think of these is just as nicknames for your long general ledger account numbers. So instead of typing out a super long GL account for your main bank again and again, you can just use a simple name like main bank. It's a small thing, but it makes the whole process so much cleaner. Okay, now we're getting to the most important part. I mean it. This next step is basically the brains of the whole operation. This is where we lay out the accounting rules that SAP is going to follow all on its own. So here we're setting up a posting rule. You can think of it as pure if-then logic. We're telling the system things like, if you see cash coming in, then you're going to debit the main bank account and credit the clearing account. We're basically building a complete rulebook for every single type of transaction. And that's why this step is so critical. It makes sure every single dollar is posted correctly with zero manual work. And the final piece of the puzzle is to tie it all together. What we're doing here is basically creating a translation key. See, the bank uses its own codes in the file, and we have our internal posting rules. This step just connects the dots. It maps the bank's external code to our internal rule. So now SAP knows that when it sees, say, code 451 from the bank, it needs to run our customer payment rule. Simple as that. All right, so we've configured our rules, we've taught the system what to do. Now it's showtime. Let's actually look at the process of uploading the bank's file. Okay, so this is what an MT940 file actually looks like. I know, to our eyes, it can look like a total jumble of codes and numbers, but to our newly configured SAP system, every single line, every code has a very specific meaning. This is the raw data that we're about to feed into the machine. And believe it or not, that jumble of text is actually super structured. Each of those little tags has a specific job. For example, :25- that tells SAP which bank account we're talking about. Colon 61 hyphen, that's a single transaction line with all the juicy details. And 62F confirms the final closing balance. SAP just reads these tags and knows exactly what's going on. And here we go, the moment of truth. We jump into transaction FF_5. From this screen, it's really easy. We just select the MT940 format, we tell the system where to find the file from our bank, and, this is really important, we make sure to check that Post Immediately box. Then, we hit Execute. Okay, the upload is done, but did it actually work? Let's go check the results and see if the system did what we told it to do. And there it is, proof of success. Right after the upload, SAP gives us this handy little summary. It tells us exactly how many transactions it read, and more importantly, how many it posted. When you see a clean log like this one, showing statements posted 1, you know it worked perfectly. Now, this is the real payoff. You can see it right here, side by side. On the left, you've got a typical clearing account, just filled with open items, waiting for someone to manually reconcile them. And on the right, that's the same account right after our upload. Look at that. The items are gone. They've been automatically cleared against the bank transactions. All that manual work, poof, it just vanished. And of course, having an audit trail is key, right? So if you ever need to go back and review what was posted, transaction FF67 is your best friend. It lets you pull up any statement that's ever been uploaded, giving you a complete rock-solid audit trail for every single line item. So let's just step back and look at the transformation here. We've gone from a manual process that takes hours and is just begging for errors to an automated one that takes a few minutes, delivers incredible accuracy, and actually helps you close the books faster. I mean, the difference is just night and day. So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Once you take this super tedious manual task completely off your plate, you free up a ton of time for work that actually matters, like analysis. So the real question becomes, now that you've got that time back, what's the next process you're going to send on an automation quest?
Subscribe.